earlier we were talking about how you started in obedience with a wire hair dachshund and then a Pembroke corgi. And then later you began handling your family's breed, which you now actively breed as well, Norwegian Elkhounds. Can you tell us what your experience was making that transition and then showing an Elkhound in junior showmanship?
Yeah, I think it was actually a really difficult transition because I started, the dachshund I worked with was just when I was very young. But then when I switched to the corgi, I was probably like 5, 6, 7, and very quickly got to graduate novice, open novice. I was always winning my classes. And, that was going really well. And I had a really great kind of just relationship with her as a kid. And then switching over, I got my first puppy, 10 years old, Elkhounds. They're very, very trainable, but it's a lot of work for a young kid, especially your first dog. They will fight you. And if you don't do it the right way the first time, they get bored and they want to do it a different way. So there's definitely a couple times where I was like, man, I don't know if I even want to do this anymore. So I'm really thankful that my family kept pushing me stay in it. And I think that in the long run is really helpful to be able to have those experiences, kind of learn from those, that it's not always going to be the easy way, but it certainly makes a big difference now in how I handle and care and train my dogs as well. And having those mentors too, especially with obedience, kind of just taking local classes made a really big difference as well.
So what do you do differently with a dog like an Elkhound that gets bored? What are some of the things that you do when they're not interested? You must have to be more creative than the rest of us.
Yeah, I always just try to keep it interesting because they don't have that working herding, like I always want to please you. Like they're going to do it when they want to. So you have to make it something that they want to do. So it's definitely very food driven. But also just keeping it a variety. Like you're not going to just, practice stacking and then running them. And that's going to get really old to them really fast because most of my dogs do really like showing. But it just has to be in a manner that they like. So it might just be that we go for a run, or I practice with them off leash. Throwing food is probably their favorite, and I try to do different environments seem to stimulate them really well.